right? Let me also, in the meanwhile, change. I think YouTube might have started. Change it to my view. And let's see if YouTube is on. I think so. Darshan, can you check? Is Darshan here? Darshan can normally check for me. Yes, Darshan here. Give me a minute.
Yeah, my live stream is on.
Okay, live stream is on. Fabulous. Let's mute that. Okay, and moving to spotlighting. One more minute. This is really funny. In the middle of all of this, I forgot how to spotlight myself. Okay, here we are. Fabulous. So a very warm welcome to all of you for this session, and such a pertinent session because last week we talked all about love. It was the Valentine's Day session. And today, now, after the Valentine's Day is over, let's pick up a session that talks about heartbreak. Heartbreak. So, diving right into the session, it's so funny that this topic comes on because there was, in one of those Expect Miracle sessions and all, there was one person who was going through heartbreak. And so, as I was looking at her going through heartbreak, I was telling her my stories of heartbreak. There had been a series of them, but I was telling her the one that most kind of exactly the same experience as she was having. And I had that heartbreak many, many years ago. And I remembered it. And then also what I had learned about it once I came to the energy space. So as this session got over, I got messages and messages that this session was for me. This session was for me. Oh my God, I needed to hear this. So I said, okay, if one person needs to hear it, let's talk about this in a bigger way to everyone, to absolutely everyone. So from there, this topic on heartbreak. So firstly, when we think of heartbreak, the one thing that comes to mind is the lover, right? The one who is giving us the heartbreak, this fellow that we loved so much, and then he did something which was totally, against the grain of love itself. And then we had a heartbreak. And many of us, when we are in love with someone and looking to get married to them, etc., and that is when, if we go through this experience of heartbreak, it is always about, how they didn't honor your love. And that is at the heart. As I was looking at life itself, the love that is in those very limited ways that, okay, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, and then they didn't honor. But what I found was, oh my God, heartache, heartbreak is not just restricted to this boyfriend, girlfriend, and not getting married. Every one of us, every one of us goes through the experience of heartbreak, some before marriage and some after marriage. Yeah. So, you get married and you come to this new place and you have this idea of what this life is going to look like. And it doesn't look like that. Your husband doesn't meet your required standards, your criteria. He doesn't behave as you expected him to. The marriage is not looking like what it was meant to be. Result, heartbreak. Forget this. The relationship itself, oh, you're supposed to do this for me and you are not doing this for me, doesn't just happen in a marriage. It can happen even as a person is born into a family, and then they are born into the family and the mother will not behave how the other mothers are behaving. Result, heartbreak, right? Like All the other mothers do this. So we don't even have to wait for a boyfriend or a girlfriend to come along. We simply experience our heartbreak in that relationship, even of a child and a mother, child and a father, the heartbreak happens. When when we begin to look into this space, what is it that we are really experiencing? A lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt. So, those be the feelings that we are experiencing through the heartbreak. Sometimes, it doesn't even have to be that somebody will just walk away. Death, death of a loved one will break your heart, totally break your heart if that is where your entire existence is all about, or that's the center of your attention. So, all of this, when we have a major heartbreak, so much of sadness, so much of grief, it can only happen when there is a ton of attachment. A ton of attachment. And what does the attachment bring with it? It brings the keyword expectations. And so when people say, there are sayings like, oh, like fall in love and get your heart broken, right? The minute you fall in love, and then the next thing you know, your heart will break. You will be hurt when you fall in love. To understand that it is not the love that is making the heartbreak happen, it is the expectations that is making the heartbreak happen. It's the expectations that we begin to get from the other. What are these expectations based on? They are based on reciprocity. I love you so much, and so I expect that you will give me the same kind of love back at me. Put it throughout the equations. We talked about mother and child, father and child, spouse and spouse, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend. Where is the heartbreak coming from? I loved you more and you didn't reciprocate my love to that extent. And then what happens? It happens everywhere. That paper of marriage, notwithstanding, whether we are looking at a relationship that comes with a signed paper or not, the minute we think that we have given more of ourselves, and the minute we begin to realize we're not receiving as per our giving, that is where the heartbreak happens. I have a webinar on this. You call it a relationship, but you're actually conducting a transaction. I give you this much, you give me that much back. And then I will give you this much again. You keep giving me this much back. But here is the fun part as soon as we begin to look into the energies of it. In the energies, the one thing that we recognize, the person does not give as per our giving. The person can only give as much as our energy is ready to receive. So, if in the energy there is no receiving, no matter what someone tries to give, we will not be able to experience it. We will not be able to receive it. So crazy, because even, it is funny that the same thing, like this heartbreak can happen. The first times, when do we experience it? Either when we are a child or something, but definitely also in a sibling relationship. In a sibling relationship, you are there all by yourself, you are the elder child, and now in comes another. And now suddenly you have expectations. At the age of 2 or 3, you have expectations that this is the kind of attention you are getting. And suddenly, that's not the kind of expectations you're getting. Even though you don't know that the word is expectation, you have it. You do have expectation. You have prepared yourself into that receiving. And then suddenly, it is not there anymore. What happens? Heartbreak. That young, that old, that that, the age not a barrier to the emotion that you are experiencing. It's a very, very difficult phase in a child's life if they are experiencing that sibling rivalry and fighting for attention from their loved ones. Fighting for attention. Why? Because they had it and now they don't. And there was an equation that was set, and now that equation is shifting, it is moving. And so, for that reason, heartbreak. Where is it coming from? It's coming from attachment. As a child, are you going to be able to decipher this? No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, you came to earth to experience all of separation, and this is your experience of separation at the age of 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, in case you are the elder one. Yeah. If you are the younger one, you don't know any better. You don't know any better. And then equations will turn out some way or the other. But your experience of heartbreak is happening at that young an age. So, again, going back to where is it stemming from? It is stemming from an expectation of a certain kind of behavior, which, when we don't receive, which, when we are giving and not receiving, or the one who is going to give it to us is no longer part of our lives, and we didn't expect that, or even if we expected it, we weren't ready for it, that will be the cause for heartbreak. How to look at it in terms of energies? Where there is attachment, I say this all the time, repeating the same line, there is a link of attachment. Attachment gives rise to pain and hurt. That is what it is. When broken, how will the attachment break? Attachment causes you to have expectations. Mind you, this is attachment. Attachment will be always with a certain outcome in mind. Attachment comes with outcomes. Love is a different thing. But if you have attachment, there will be expectations of certain outcomes, of certain behaviors. And you think, I give you so much, where is mine back at me? The fun part about it, when we begin to understand energies, is you don't give anyone any much. You don't. You can't. What you are doing is playing an actor role to them. Who has written that script for that actor? They have. So, if they hold more love for themselves, if they hold more love for themselves, what is it that they are going to demand from you? Love. You are simply a reflection of the love that they hold. If that's the role that you have, you will give them love. Not because it'll feel like you love them a lot more, but it is not for that reason that you are giving them love. Remember, energy works from inside out. So, inside is where they hold more of the love, outside is where all their reflections will be showing that love to them. I say all in a very broad way. They might have chosen someone to show the part that they don't love about themselves. And so that part, sometimes it is the same person, and sometimes it's 5 other people. Roles are what we hand out, but reflections, they all are. Roles written by our energy field. What we see on the outside in is a reflection of that energy field. Nothing new there. Been talking about that all the time. But we forget. When someone gives us love, we are like, oh my God, that person loves me so much. And then we try to do things for them. And it's a nice reciprocal arrangement till the time it's not.
Broadcasts it. Where on Telegram? I don't check.
Okay, let me just shut off Ritika. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so it is that it's a nice reciprocal relationship, and then it isn't. And then people say, no, but they were the actor of love. They were showing me so much love before marriage. And then after marriage, everything changed. I always remind people, for attachment to be played, for hurt to be experienced, it has to be that the actor needs to have certain set of expectations pinned on them. You have outcomes, expectations from them, and then there is attachment to that outcome. Only then will you be able to experience hurt to the extent of heartbreak. The larger the number of expectations, the deeper the heartbreak. Simple it is, the equation. But as we begin to look into this, but why is it that they were first playing that and then they changed after marriage or became so different after marriage? A stage was being set so that you could expect. You could have expectations, you would get attached. You would get attached to that person. That person seems to be the one who has loved you the most all of this while. So you're like, oh my God, this is the right person for me. He loves me so much. She loves me so much. The stage is being set. Beyond a certain point, when the play of hurt comes to action, how will they behave depends on your energy. Will they continue to be that sweet, beautiful person that they were? Or are they going to change overnight, over a few months in the first year of marriage? Are they going to change? Totally depends on your energy. But we don't know about energy, so where is the finger? Out. And where is the hurt? In. So now, when we begin to understand what is it that we have to work on, firstly, of course, hurt. Secondly, with this hurt comes a lot of grief. Grief is simply sadness, heightened sadness, sadness. And then I don't have enough, I might not have enough. Lack. We sit in lack after experiencing the love, and then when it is taken away from us, we experience lack. And then mostly, what we have to work on is our expectation. Our expectation, because that is the machinery underneath. Underneath all of these emotions that you're experiencing, the machinery underneath is that of your expectations, of your putting a finger outside on an outcome. This person needs to behave like this, needs to be like this. The more we look at that person, it could just even be a friend. Suddenly we have best friends, and over the very smallest of things, those best friends will walk away. Same story. What did you create in that? Expectations. What did you have from that friend? Attachment. So, notwithstanding the sex of the person, the role of the person, wherever you begin to sit in attachment and expectations of what this person will do for you, that's where heartbreak is going to be. And so, getting down to experience, or rather, looking at, getting down to looking at the expectations that you have from those around you, the ones that you count as, your pillars in life, whoever that might be, or the one that you can depend upon. That dependence upon someone is not a place of love. It is not. It is a place of expectation. And so when we do begin to love, the line that I always remind everyone of, when I love someone, the line is not, I do for you and you do for me. I am doing for you because I love you. No, the line is, I love you and I honor your journey. The way you are, wherever you are going, whatever you are doing, I honor your journey. You walk in, I honor your journey. You walk out, I honor your journey. From that place of zero expectations as to what you should do for me comes true unconditional love. Once we are able to look at the true unconditional love, let us say we are still looking at an outside person. I remind everyone again that person is still a mirror, just simply a mirror to you. They are simply showing you, even as they hurt you, even as they put you into deep senses of grief, even if they put you in so much of lack, they're simply actually just showing you all the places, all the places where you haven't loved yourself yet. You haven't loved yourself yet because every place we have so many expectations from ourselves. We are a wife, we need to behave in a certain way. We are a daughter, mother, office colleague, friend, whatever, whatever. We have so many expectations from ourselves. Are we really truly giving love to ourselves? If we are, then we will see through the drama. When something happens on the outside, and now we are the hurting party, as in we are the one providing hurt to someone. We are the one who is providing grief to someone. We are no longer the one who's sitting in hurt from the expectations that are broken. Now we are the one who is hurting another. If truly you are able to come to the place of unconditional love, you will recognize the role for what it is. The role is given by them. The energy field belongs to them. But as we hurt them, what can we do? When I hurt someone, I will judge myself and I will experience guilt. On the other side of it, I will experience guilt and I will judge myself. In that place, as I experience the guilt, what are we doing? Simply releasing the guilt. It's just a frequency, and it is coming from the place of taking the onus upon yourself that whatever you did was wrong. Whatever you did in this space was wrong. Anything that you did is wrong is going to give to you guilt. But recognizing that the frequency is guilt, the frequency, it's just a frequency. You must be holding it, you must be tuned into it. And that's why you are experiencing it. As you give away the guilt, also to be looking at what is your role. Your role is to hurt them. Your role is to hurt them. But while you are doing that, and that's the role, no matter what you say, no matter what you say. Now they are going to play in hurt, they are going to play in lack, they are going to play in brokenheartedness. Then whatever you say doesn't matter. So it is not about you making amends. It is about you recognizing that this is the role that you have been given. And from that space, sending love to them, sending unconditional love to them with the same line. Whatever your journey is, I honor. I honor the journey. Not looking at making, how can I get that person to be friends with me again, lovers with me again, whatever, whatever. Because they broke my heart, but they're the only one. No, they're not the only one. Your heart broke. And we will come to that again. Your heart broke to experience the grief that you're holding. Your heart broke to experience the sadness, the hurt that you are holding, the judgments about yourself that you're holding. For that reason, your heart broke. What happens when the heart breaks? The finger is over there, and then we try to move on. And at some point in time, we move on. Oh, by the way, let me to complete that other part of it, which was you are feeling guilty, but you're also judging yourself. As soon as you can see through it that you are not the one to do something. It's their energy that gave you this role. Let go of the guilt and let go of the judgment that you did right or wrong. The energy field belongs to them. That's where the game is. Whatever you are feeling, you focus on that. If you are feeling that you were wrong, then again, that's a judgment. You're not loving yourself through right and wrong. And that's where, again, you go into I am awesome, the place of unconditional love giving to the self. At this point, many people come to me and then they will say, but doesn't that make us cold hearted? That we can do anything wrong to somebody else and and then we won't feel guilty about it. And we will simply be like, oh, they asked for it, and so we did it. You can continue feeling wrong. You can continue to feel guilt. You can continue to feel really, really bad about what you did and slap yourself for it some more. You can do that. But from what I have understood of the energy is whatever energy you are sitting in, the universe will bring you more of the same. Because the universe is not a thinking universe saying that, oh, this one has done a bad karma, let's punish her. No, the universe doesn't think. The universe is a reflecting universe. The universe is energy. And so, whatever vibration belongs to you, that vibration is going to come back to you. So, if you are going to sit in the guilt vibration and saying to yourself, you're so bad, you're so pathetic, you're a terrible human being, what is the vibration that you're sending out of this terrible human being? And then what is going to come back to you? More people telling you how terrible you are. If you like listening to that, okay, continue that path. If you think that energy makes sense to you, then move your path and simply look within. Not at what you're doing for others. It doesn't belong to you. It's not your story, it's your role. But what I am feeling, what you are feeling, is your story. And that is where the energy can be shifted. Then, what was the part that I was moving on to and covering? Otherwise, I totally forget. Yeah, what happens after the heartbreak? When you move forward with your heartbreak, now you find another friend or another lover or another something. And as you are getting into something, either you can come from a space of, okay, this is going to be different, or you can come from the space of fear. Is this going to do the same thing to me? Unfortunately, if you haven't processed your emotions, no matter which energy you come from, mostly your energy field will play what it is holding, right? Unless you've shifted the energy field in the middle through some other processes, you've become more trusting, you become less fearing, you become more inwards looking, and then the new person might be different. But otherwise, what happens? Repeat patterns. Many people come to me and say, what it is with me and my love life, like all my life, I do so much for others and I never just get back. And I'm like so shattered and so broken, and I'm done with this. I've had enough of my heartbreaks. But each time it's the same story. The story doesn't change. The story doesn't change because the energy hasn't changed. So, in this whole place, if you're coming in from fear and you're simply just, let us say, not portraying the fear, but feeling the fear inside, you're still pretending to be very comfortable and very open to love and all of that. When you pretend, the vibration of that pretense is still just a pretense. And so you might seem confident on the outside, but it's not what you're doing on the outside. It's about who you are on the inside. And so to be able to process that it's not outside, it's within, and to be able to look at yourself deeply, are you open to receiving love? or are you fearful of it? Because when something has happened and gone by, apart from all the other emotions that you are holding with respect to love, the grief, the sadness, the lack, the hurt, all of that stuff, what you might start holding also is lot of fear. Fear with respect to love. And so I started with that one line to say, hurt, this breaking of the heart, look at it, look at it, and look at it from the place of the heart has to break to open up. What you come with, your limited ideas of who you are going to love and what that love needs to look like. Those ideas are so limiting and they hold your heart very, very tightly, very closely. Yeah, I love my parents, I love two friends, and I love my grandparents, my husband, my boyfriend, something, something. Four people. Yeah. Can you see how much of you is still unloved? How much of you? Nobody else exists. There are only roles on the outside. But when you hold your heart this tightly close to yourself, how much of you is yet to be loved? For that reason, for you to be able to expand, oh, I love my parents, and that's it, right? For you to expand, the heart needs to break. It needs to shatter. This one just won't do. You got to construct a new heart beyond this, a new heart from the new energy. It's so amazing when we all meet for MPFY meets and stuff like that. Most of the times I remember, and I'll ask people before a workshop or something, that go out and hug four people that you've never met, that you've never spoken to before, and hug them as if, this is your newest, latest love. Like give them a proper hug. When people manage to do that, oh my God, so many of them come to me saying, yeah, the workshop was beautiful. But that part, those first 5 minutes, they were just so beautiful, receiving those hugs with an open heart. Whose heart opened up in that moment? Who experienced the love in that moment? You did, as you went out and as you received from more. I noticed in one of the workshops, it was somebody else's workshop, or rather, somebody else's event. But I was pretty much there and I was talking to them. And in that, I said to everyone, my anandas are all like that only, that everybody holds, something on their eyes. They will cover their eyes and a blindfold. And then if they bump into someone, they have to hug that someone for at least a good 30 seconds. That's the mandate. 30 seconds hug and dance with them, and hug them and dance with them. And that's how. Over the last few years, I have found that people who associate with me, they don't need the blindfold anymore. They're already working on themselves, and the heart is already opened up, that they understand that this is only to receive all of this love from the universe through these 4 or 5 people who are going to come to me, and the 4 or 5 people that I'm going to go out to. And then that list becomes endless. So they understand. But the ones who are new, I will still put the blindfold on. So for this particular event, I had the blindfold on and I was like, everybody hug. I noticed, and then while everybody is dancing, I noticed people were dancing like this, like so that they don't have to hug, their hands don't go out, they don't bump into anyone, they don't love anyone. What will happen with love? Heart will break. Not with this kind of love. There is no expectation over here, right? So this is truly unconditional love when you have no expectation, but simply receiving love for the sake of receiving love. That's all. I know that person, I really don't want to hug them. And I know that person, I only want to dance right next to them so that I can only hug them. Small circle, closed heart, heartbreak needs to happen. When you go with an expanded heart, heartbreak is not a part of the story anymore. But why is the heartbreak even needed? I say to everyone who's going through it, because everybody resonated with, oh my God, your story, it was just exactly. And I'm not telling that story right now because it was a story in the unawareness. It was a story, my heart broke, shattered, in a very big way, very, very big way. And so as that happened, as the heart shattered in a very big way, I'll tell you what happened afterwards. So the heart shattered once in a very big way. Then it shattered again and again. And then there was this, and I was not knowing anything about the energy work. I didn't even understand why this was happening. People at least catch the repeat patterns. I hadn't even got that. But there was this one time, and I used to go to this ashram in New York, and I am having a conversation with the universe, and the heart has just been shattered for, I think, the fourth time in a big way. And I was having a conversation with the universe, and I said, you know what? I really um, don't wish to be in this space of this kind of love anymore. So don't send anybody to me. Don't send anybody to me. I'm happy as I am. Why do I have to get married or anything like that? What is going to happen through that? If I want children, that was my idea, that if I want children, I can go get children. If I want love, I can find it in so many other places. Why do I need to have one person to marry? So I announced to the universe that day, please don't bring me anybody anymore. This was after the third or the fourth heartbreak. And then the next line that I said, if you do bring someone, if somebody else comes now, I'm requesting you, please don't bring anyone. But if someone else comes now, then let that be the person that I'm going to get into a marriage with. Otherwise, marriage, it's okay for me to not be married, to not have a partner. I'm completely okay with that. And I said this in my, like, literally, probably just going off to sleep, thinking about this heartbreak and saying, I don't need these kind of experiences. I'm done. Yeah. For the next 1 year, no one appeared. Literally 1 year and something. The, they used to be, somebody or the other, just landing up on my doorstep and proclaiming their love to me, just for no reason. Then, with this, it so happened that almost for a year and something, a year and a few months, nobody on the scene at all. No one. And in that space, I was completely happy, completely happy. Zero lack, zero worry, zero anxiety, just happy. And then suddenly, the universe threw Sudhanshu at me from four different directions, four different people, all across the globe, four different people bringing the same fellow again and again. And there's a story that I've covered in one of the other webinars, but that was it. And so this is how the universe brought me this person. But now that I look back, why didn't the repeat pattern happen again? Because I was no longer sitting in lack. I was no longer looking. I was no longer sitting in lack. I was no longer wanting something. And so it happened. And then the universe brought me a person that was resonating with this particular frequency of mine. So now, after that, did heartbreak happen? Oh, yeah. As I said, heartbreak is each time you get into attachments. Attachments. And so with expectations come hurt. So once I'm married and I'm still not working within, I have no idea what energies is all about. So did expectations happen? Absolutely. So when expectations happen, will hurt happen? Absolutely. So it happened. It happened along the way as well. Marriage, notwithstanding. It is a function of you have expectations, you put your finger on outcomes, you are going to experience heartbreak. That be our session and understanding for today. Okay. No questions? Anybody has any questions at all on this fun topic? All good? Okay. All right then. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And a deep breath in and exhale. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. You can tap your third eye for you to be able to understand what it is that this energy is doing. It's opening your third eye. The third eye that looks within for every answer, every solution. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. And now, go through the list wherever you've experienced some heartache with a parent, with a friend, with a spouse, with a boyfriend, partner, whoever. I can guarantee that you would have gone through heartbreaks. You might have not looked at it in an expanded way, but I can guarantee that you would have given that role to someone to break your heart open, to break your heart open again and again, so that you can expand your experience. So that's the reason, that is the reason for the heartbreak. You didn't come here into this life to love one person, two people on the outside. No, you came here again and again, again and again, into several lives, over and over again, so that you could begin to love yourself, so that you could come to this place of unconditional love for the self. That is the reason that you came to earth. And so, since you weren't moving in that direction, and since your energies said, enough now, time to get to self-love. So what do they need to do? Break your ideas of what love looks like and make it unconditional. And for that, this role of heartbreak given to a few people, they can take you there, bring you towards self-love. Many of you, when you come into this place and you begin to have your conversations with me, you join my program, and then you talk to me about heartbreak, I always remind you, they did that so you would come to this program and learn about self-love. So the first thing that we do now to all those people that put us through heartbreak, that broke open our heart. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. Thank you for playing this role in my life, because without that, I would have not understood what love to the self looks like. Gratitude to all those who have given you the heartbreak. And in this moment, bringing the menal energy into the heart, bring it to your heart. Be aware. I take energy from menal. I am menal. In the heart, move that energy to the heart. From the third eye to the heart. Bring it to the heart. The expansion of heart, the expansion of love, the expansion of unconditional towards the self. Unconditional. I love myself maximum. I love myself maximum. Bring this energy into the heart. Feel it in your heart. Feel it. Feel your heart expand. Think of some random 4 or 5 people in your universe that you've never hugged before. The ones that you wouldn't even think of hugging. Some colleagues, your maids at the house, somebody who just doesn't know you but says a hi, hello. Somebody who doesn't say a hi, hello. Think of 5 people that you would never hug. And in this space, in this moment, simply, in your imagination, go out to them and give them a big hug. To each of them, just give a big, big hug. A smile on your face, a huge hug to them. With just that, you expanded your heart 5x. Just right now, the expansion of love to the self and unconditionally to someone as well. How easy is it to be able to love without expectation? All that it takes is a smile and a big hug. Take a deep breath in. Keep the smile going. And with that, we finish today's meditation. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. So
Thank you, Meena.
lots of love.
Like,
How are you so cute that you cover the 900,000 yards of one topic? Every nuance that comes, you answer already. Heart in so much flutterness of oneness. How beautiful. Love, love, love. You bum bum bully. Thank you so much. Lots